The following content is sponsored and does not necessarily reflect the views of WATD Radio. Now, Paul Ponders on 95.9 WATD. Be a part of the show. Call or text 781-837-4900. Now, here's your host, Paul Solano.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome and thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD, presented by Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus, where they have fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors. My name is Paul Solano of the PS&All Marketing Group, and this is season number 2, show number 15, and it's happening right now, the second day of spring, and my first wife's birthday. Happy birthday, Amy. I believe, Amy, you're listening in the car as you're driving Ann and Sarah to Logan after their really fun trip. So happy birthday, Amy, and hi to Ann and Sarah. And you could still catch us on the Odyssey app when you're in California. And hi, Sarah. Safe travels. I am excited to bring you another great season with my network of very knowledgeable contributors. We will continue to keep it real, hot and timely, South Shore and Cape and the Islands base, North Shore reference, but definitely full of Paul pondering thoughts. And in studio today, we have a returning guest, Mr. Christopher Perry. Christopher, how are you?
Doing very well, Paul. Thank you very much for having me again.
It's really great to have you on. David Boyle cannot make it. He's listening. He's at a funeral in Rhode Island, I believe, right now. But we'll have you back in the segment after Shelley. And looking forward to hearing what's going on. Excellent.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my friend. Now, as you probably already know, I also wear another hat as general manager of Pearl Street Station Restaurant in Malden. A huge shout out to Chef Felipe Fitzpatrick and his culinary team. Chef Felipe is a loyal listener through the Odyssey app. So hello to Chef Felipe. And as always, we have lots of activity going on today at Pearl Street Station with a huge celebration of life for one of our longtime regulars, Frank Cole, and Frank, may you rest in peace. You are a longtime regular friend of Pearl Street, and your sister Laura has put together an incredible celebration of life. We are expecting a lot of people to come on by and just raise a pint and have some wonderful memories and a nice trip down memory lane. So, Frank, you left us too soon, but we will miss you, and rest in peace. Now, I always say it, and it is true. As Malden's longest-running restaurant of 40 years, we have incredible staying power in the greater Boston area and the North Shore. So please venture over that Zakin Bridge, as Ian would say, and if you're listening, that godforsaken bridge, and come on and visit us in Malden. Now, Chef Felipe, that corned beef and cabbage you made the other day was absolutely superb. We went through 99 orders. We cannot quite hit 100. It was close, though. And the Reuben sandwiches we had the next day were so delightful. Very good. That homemade sauerkraut that you made was really stupendous. And at least we did not have to hash out what to do with any leftovers. So a huge shout-out to my team of Chef Felipe, Chef Joaquin, Pizio Lamoose, John, Nicole, Don, Cousin Tony, and our own Michelle for holding down the fort on this very busy day. And as I stated earlier, it is season number 2 and show number 15, and it is an absolute honor and pleasure to be on WATD in the slot of The Boiling Point with Arthur Boyle. Arthur is my executive consultant of the Paul Ponders radio show. And Arthur is out there. He's adding to our sponsor list, so give Arthur a call or give me a call if you're looking to sponsor. Part of the Paul Ponders show. And with us behind the glass is Mr. Tim.
Yes, good afternoon, Paul. Happy Spring Saturday.
Happy Spring Saturday, yes. Indeed. We finally made it.
We did.
Yes, I remember when we were talking about Dan McCready being out with that yardstick, the ruler, the yes. Yardstick, and just looking forward to this day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, put the yardstick away.
Absolutely. And you had some race sounds. Any races coming up this week?
Yeah, all 3 series are at the Lady in Black, the track Too Tough to Tame, Darlington. Truck Series raced last night, and it was Heim time again. Corey Heim in a different truck. He got it done. My pick, Ben Rhodes, he was out on lap 2. He cut on a right front tire, crashed into the wall, messed up his both right tires, and reported to his crew that the motor mounts moved too, so he was all done.
Wow.
Yeah, but we've got Xfinity at 5:30 today, and then Cup Series tomorrow at 3.
Gotcha. In your sartorial splendor, you have your red...
Dale Jr. representing Justin Allgaier is my pick today. He's one of the quite a few drivers that Dale Earnhardt Jr. Has under him in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series. It's got a lot of good stuff going.
Fabulous. I was actually in Saugus, Mass. the other day, and there was an O'Reilly Auto Parts store, and I almost went in to say, who's in charge of sponsoring? Maybe we'll have to have them as a sponsor.
Yeah, that would be good.
I love that jingle you have on Miles on.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Indeed.
Ow.
I love hearing that on Miles on Motorsports when you have that.
Right, when we misname, when we call it Xfinity Series, we crutch on it and it's like, oh, that's not what it is anymore.
That's not it.
Yeah.
That's not it. Well, Tim, I thank you. Always a pleasure. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Well, while we're waiting for Shelley to come on, Christopher Perry is in the studio with us. And Christopher, you're a returning guest. You've been on a couple of times with me, and one other time when Dave Boyle was filling in for me when you were in Plymouth. You finally found the booth at the Plymouth Chamber of Commerce affair. But basically, let's you do so many things around Pembroke. Let's right off the top of the list, you're a candidate for select board.
That is correct, sir.
And how's the campaign going?
Excellent. Very, very well. I'm getting awesome response in communicating with the community, listening to what our residents desire. Things are good. It's I don't want to say it's a new feeling that people are that are starting to come about, and it's almost like you were talking about with spring and new flowering. Things are growing, and that's one of the nice things about Pembroke. I mean, it is very communal, between the garden clubs or the community center or the Pembroke Historical Society. The town itself cares about its people, and the people care about the town. And when things are just not where they should be or where they feel they should be, they get to talk about it and say, well, I'd like to see this happen. Okay, let's see if we can make that happen. And that's listening to the residents.
That's what it's all about, Alfie, right? That's what it's all about. But really, both Democrats and Republicans should be able to just work together peacefully, coexist, and make it happen, all for the betterment of the town.
If I have time, I could share very quickly.
Sure.
I was at Ken Sweezy's. He is a Republican candidate. He also represents the town of Pembroke. I was at his re-election kickoff campaign, had an amazing conversation with him about Pembroke one-on-one and what we can do together, work collaboratively together for the betterment of Pembroke. So I posted that. At the same day, Kathy Lenatra, the Democratic state rep for Pembroke. Now, again, her area is a little bit smaller in Pembroke. It's really limited to the Bryantville area. But the bottom line at the end of the day is she was able to obtain a $50,000 supplemental budget for the town, for the Pembroke school systems.
Super.
And it's like, okay, you're working collaboratively with the D, with the R, working together for the town. That's what it's about. It's not about, well, I'm going to stand here on my soapbox and just, no, that's not it. It's working with the community to get to an end goal. That's what we want to do.
Amen. Well, Christopher, at this point of the program, we have the Pod Pro Techie Toolbox segment with Techie Talonzo Amos and Miss Shelley Wolf, global media firm owner of Toolbox Entertainment, vice president of technology literacy for Pod Pro, a past Paul Ponders guest, episode number 35 out of the 85 episodes I've dropped so far. So on the line, we have Miss Shelley Wolf.
Good morning, Paul. How are you doing?
I am doing well, Miss Shelley. Doing well, living the dream as always.
Very good. I think we all are.
Absolutely. Without a doubt, my friend. Yeah. Well, as I keep on posting all those helpful tips, and I believe you've met Christopher before, right, in past segments?
Yes, we've talked on the phone. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Always learn something new.
Absolutely. As we always do with all the tips that you pass along, and I post them on the PSNL Marketing Group blog. But also, too, people are stopping me in the street. They're stopping me at Pearl Street Station and say, that guest you have on, that Shelley, she's very knowledgeable, but I love her texts her tech tip myth of the week. So what do you have for us this week, my friend?
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about staying safe and smart during the spring season, because guess what? Today is spring and it's here. Now, I know we may have some snow coming, but it is spring, and that means more travel, more outings, and events are about to pop up. And we'll be popping in and out a little bit more than we did during these winter months. But as we are moving again, it's also time where those scams increase. Those phones start to disappear and get lost very easily because we just get excited. It's nice weather. We want to be outside. So today's tech tip is all about staying safe, smart for the spring, whether you're traveling, running errands, or even enjoying the season. So first, we want to look at traveling smart with your phone. As you head out more, you want to use maps that leave time for you to check traffic. You can go in and map and save locations ahead of time. So when you're ready to go, those maps are ready to go, and it'll tell you where all the different stops are. You want to share your trip with trusted persons that you may be close with so that they know where you are. Again, anything can happen, so you just want to make sure people know where you might be going. So again, apps like Google Maps, Waze, Apple Maps can all help, but it's always smart to have a backup. So what you should be doing is also taking a screenshot of all your directions in case any service drops. I can tell you, I know I do that. I find it very helpful, especially in taking public transportation. Now, another thing is you should protect your phone while you're out. While you're out, it's more easily to misplace, get lost, or for someone just to come and snag it right up. Simple habits are keep your phone in a consistent place, avoid leaving it on tables and counters. I do that all the time. Not a good idea. But also what is really important is locking your screen with a passcode so people can't get into it. So if it is taken, they can't get into your phone. Turn on the Find My Phone features. When you take your phone with you, no matter where you go, again, you never know what could happen. Simple fall. You're taking out the trash, you fall down, you might need to use your phone to contact someone. So again, just really important. If lost, those tools can help you locate it if you've got your Find It on it. And it also allows you to lock your device quickly. So this is really important out there to make sure that you are doing this with your phones, your laptops, your iPads, all those tablets you might be traveling with. Again, these are hot market items, and you want to be extremely careful when traveling to other countries, especially, again, in springtime. This is when we need to really be aware because that spring scam is right upon us. Spring begins with, again, those certain scams. We've talked about fake travel deals, fake ticket scams, delivery and package text, you've won messages. Again, I just like to remind folks that if it feels urgent, pause. Don't click those unfamiliar links. Go directly to websites. Verify before paying anything. Before you go any further, I want us to jump into that tech myth of the week. And the tech myth is, if I'm just running a quick errand, nothing will happen. Well, again, truth is that many scams and phone losses happen during everyday routines, not during those big events. Staying aware in small moments is just as important as staying aware in big moments, and that's what will make the difference. So again, I just want to ensure people are staying very aware of where their phones are. Now, to back up to staying connected and prepared, your phone can always help you stay safe. One thing you want to think about is checking weather before you head out. So, for example, I'm heading up to Portland this weekend, and I was told, it's going to snow. And I thought, here we were in the beginning of summer, or spring. But I need to check that weather just sure I'm good on the road. Keep emergency contacts updated. Use location sharing when needed. And again, always carry a portable charger. Now, this is essential to keep all your devices really charged. We want to think about this as we begin to walk into those summer months. We are starting to see blackouts. Again, we've had erratic weather. I was just listening to the channel this morning, and it said, the gentleman on there was talking about how we have had more national weather situations than we've ever had in decades. So we want to think about the possible chance of power outages. And the one thing you don't want to do is be caught with not having your devices fully charged and ready to go in case you need them. Again, being prepared doesn't mean being worried. It just really means being ready. So now let's jump into, again, that quick spring checklist. Lock the phone, turn on your Find It My Phone, avoid suspicious links, use trusted apps, share your travel plans as needed, and as you head out this spring, take a few minutes to check your phone settings, make sure you've updated all those security policies, and stay aware. A little preparation helps you enjoy the season with more confidence, less stress. And that is today's tech tip: staying safe, staying smart, and enjoying everything that spring has to offer us.
That is absolutely awesome. The only disappointing thing about this whole presentation, Shelley, is that you may have shed light on the fact that I may not be related to that great uncle in Ethiopia. I may not be inheriting all that money, but
you may not.
Oh boy. Oh well. And Chris, do you have anything to add to this wonderful presentation?
No, but I was sitting there going, "Oh my God, that's right." I see a little scams regarding, the prince needs your help. And really, if he's really a prince, I don't think he needs my help.
Right? But the thing is, right, to that notion, like so many times it's like, oh, your grandchild or your daughter needs this or your son needs this. And it's just like, wait a minute, I thought I just saw them down the other day, but now you're telling me they're in another country. Where are they?
Yeah, or the kidnapping or the ransom, right?
Yeah. So you just want to be really, really careful. Again, we all can get caught up in it really, really easily, and it's just really important for us to like always stay cognizant and aware of what we're clicking on, what information we're sharing where. It's really essential to knowing what we're doing with our devices. And again, it's not just phones. Again, I really want to remind people, we all walk around laptops, tablets, computers, so those things that are not in your house. But again, if someone was to break in and steal your computer, you want to make sure those devices also have the Find It turned on so you can lock them very quickly and take care of your devices.
Well, Shelley, how do our listeners in Paul Ponders land get in touch with you?
Yeah, they can reach us at info@podproentertainment.com.
That is absolutely fabulous, and I say it every time, ever since Techie Talonzo and PodPro started those reels. Those content reels are really gaining a lot of traction.
Yeah, it's been really exciting to see. So we'll continue to put those out. Again, we're just trying to meet people where they are, where they're online, they're listening to the radio, and they're definitely visiting your website for the blog as well. So thank you to you, thank you to Techie Talonzo, thank you to WATD for always having us on. We really appreciate it. So.
Well, that is absolutely awesome, Shelley. You're such an important part of this Paul Ponders program. Really appreciate it. So you have a great week, great rest of the weekend, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Sounds great. You guys enjoy the show.
#Indeed.
#Imagine.
Indeed. Well, as Arthur Boyle says, it's not time to make the donuts, it's time to pay some bills. So let's hear from our sponsors.
Have you tried Bryantville Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Chicken wings and fingers and the famous flavors complement their stir-fry dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand into Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857.
Are you looking for fencing and outdoor products? Look no further than Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus. When owner Mike Payne's customers have been asked why they chose Northeastern Fence, many said that there were 3 deciding factors: customer respect, excellent customer service, and quality products. I say that you need to add in 70-plus years of a family-run business with truly experienced sales and installation teams. So if you are in the market for fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, please call Mike Payne and his crew at 781-233-3324 or email mike@northeasternfence.com.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
We are back, and thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD, presented by Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus, where they have fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors. The call-in and text number is 781-837-4900, and you could also find us on the Odyssey app, as I mentioned earlier. That's AUDACY. And again, hello, Ann and Sarah. Safe travels back to California. And a shout-out to those nonprofits out there, and we'll be talking about a few nonprofits in a few minutes with Christopher, who's in studio with me. But if you have any questions or you have any ideas, you want to promote an event, please reach out to me at paul@paulponders.com. Now, listeners can go to paulponders.com to find subscription links to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, as well as finding past Paul Ponders on WATD shows. And just some quick shout-outs. April 19th, we have Scott Albertson, one of our guests from last week. Scott did a fabulous job with his presentation for April 19th at Pearl Street Station Restaurant. It's a jazz brunch with John Boboin of Berklee School of Music. And Bob Hilberg is very involved with that because Bob is going to be bringing together a group of people from the Looking Back in Medford history for the Sarah Bradley Fulton statue. He's going to be bringing people. And Bob also has a very special unveiling of the statue in Medford, Mass. on April 20th on Patriots Day, how it's celebrated, and that should be a great time. But getting back to Scott and John's event, the Jazz Brunch at Pearl Street Stations from 12 to 3, and it is free to the to any attendees, and you'll get a wonderful brunch from Chef Felipe Fitzpatrick, and it should work out really well. And you also have some community tables. Community members will be out there showing their wares. Then later on in the week, we have Thursday, April 23rd, Gordon Michaels, who has been at Pearl Street a few times, and also he's appeared at the Fox and Hound in Quincy quite a few times actually. Gordon has a great show. It's a birthday celebration. I'm 62. This is what I do. Things I love to sing. So Gordon Michaels will be there with Michael Larson on piano, and there's an early bird price ticket. Please go to GordonMichaels.com. We'll be hearing more about this in future weeks, but please try to take advantage of that early bird special. It's really a great evening, and you can make reservations at Pearl Street Station Restaurant. You could have dinner either before or after the show. It should work out really well, and I'll be talking in future weeks about an April 12th fundraiser that I have. I'm on the board of the National Italian-American Sports Hall of Fame, and we have a bowling tournament coming up at Town Line Luxury Lanes, and also I'm working on a Bruins alumni game to benefit the Boston Bruins Foundation, and I'm going to be working with the Boston Strong All-Stars from Revere, and that's April 18th. And David Boyle, I know you're listening right now, and we talked about this earlier. Yep, you're looking forward to a great action-packed show when you're in the host chair on April 18th, on Saturday, April 18th. So that will be great. So more news to come on all that stuff. But at this part of the program, we usually have the segment of health and wellness survival tips with Miss Sharon Filia. Sharon has 3 singing gigs today. She's meeting with some clients today, and she's really bogged down today, but she hopes to be back next week. And just as a reminder, please go to Sharon's YouTube channel and check out the Filia Fall Prevention Method. But as I mentioned earlier, and we've already heard from Christopher Perry earlier. Christopher, welcome back. How are you?
Doing very well. Thank you very much again for having me on.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on. It's really great to have a community-based person in studio. Really just upstanding guy. Dave Boyle introduced us, and really you and your wife Alicia, I know you're foodies, and I know Alicia especially a foodie.
Yes.
So you're going to have to come on up to Pearl Street Station Restaurant.
We would love that. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the invitation. That is amazing.
You're welcome. You're welcome, my friend. So I think first and foremost, a person who is near and dear to our hearts is a benefit coming up for Karen Boyle.
That is correct. So obviously I'm the chair of the Pembroke Foundation, which is Pembroke Helping Pembroke. This particular event, we are not hosting. There was a little bit of a misconception about that when the information first came out. We are not hosting it. We are definitely promoting it. my personal experience with Karen, I know I've talked about it before. When you meet somebody and they have a certain aura about them, and what I mean by that is, you know how they say that dogs can sense evil. Someone comes to your front door, they're barking, that they don't know the stranger, they can sense evil. Well, Karen's just the opposite. There's a picture that I don't know how they got it. I don't. Karen is surrounded by, it looks like 12 to 14 huskies or large breed dogs. They're just everywhere around her. And it's not that they're necessarily protecting her, but they have the look on their face along with Karen. This is home. I'm safe here. And that's what Karen is. Unfortunately, I never really got the opportunity to know her a long time. David and I got introduced, really just a few years ago. And it's just been an amazing relationship. I'm so sorry she's not here anymore. But having said that, her legacy is living on with the scholarship fund. So with that scholarship fund, David has given Pembroke and students the opportunities for scholarship funds. This particular event is to replenish that funding in order so David can basically write more checks, or the Karen Boyle Scholarship Foundation can write more checks to students and helping for their continued careers with education. So the event itself will be April 2nd at Tiny and Sons. That is on Route 53 in Pembroke. The event is running from 6 till 8, and the admission price is $10. There will be beer and wine served. And please come by, support. You'll just leave with a really good feeling.
Without a doubt. And shout out to, I believe, Peter Brown.
Absolutely.
Right, Peter Brown.
Yeah, Peter Brown, an amazing individual. He does so much behind the scenes for the community of Pembroke and actually all of South Shore. Not just Pembroke, but he is very, very involved. And for him to go ahead and have this event at his place of business, it's just the kindness of what that individual can do is just amazing.
Without a doubt. Thank you, Peter Brown, and thank you to all the great supporters and listeners who have, in fact, participated thus far. And I'm sure that it's going to be a complete sellout. I'm going to try to
absolutely
get out of Pearl Street early and make it down.
Please do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, please do.
Without a doubt. If not, I believe there's probably going to be a raffle. So, Pearl Street Station Restaurant will be donating a gift card or two, along with Paul Ponders, or through Paul Ponders.
So all of the members of the foundation will be there again supporting the event. But to segue into the next event, Pembroke Youth Baseball and Softball reached out directly to me at a community center event. It was brought to my attention that one of their light towers on the baseball field. Now, if you remember way back when I believe it was Granite City had the Field of Dreams, and they did the whole promotion of the light towers. Well, one of those light towers, unfortunately, because of the blizzard just recently, one of those light towers had fallen. So obviously one of the things we need to try to do, and as quickly as possible, is replenish that light tower. That field is no longer going to be able to be utilized for a night game. And I know myself personally, when my son was playing baseball, he was actually on the team that played the very first game under the lights in Pembroke. What a great experience. I mean, I know it's just a game, but when you play it under the lights, it just has that much more of a meaning. So we want to be able to get that light tower back up, operational, and get it done as quickly as possible. So the fundraiser that we're doing, I don't know how we created this idea, but it's never been done. And when you hear what it is, you'll get it.
Okay.
So what we're doing is classic cartoon bingo. So what it is I'm sure you've been to your local establishment and you've heard Singo. So basically you get a bingo card with various songs, and the host plays various music, and you like, okay, I remember that song from 1970, 1985, whatever, and you go ahead and go on your bingo card, and yep, and you win. Well, what what we're going to be doing with Cartoon Bingo is all of your classic cartoon characters from Looney Tunes, Hanna-Barbera, things like that. You're going to have Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, the Jetsons, whatever, on your bingo card. And then what you're going to hear is, now this is one of the nice parts about the community center and all of the modern technology that our community center has. You're going to see a video clip of Foghorn Leghorn. You're going to see Yosemite Sam, and you're going to see their tagline. And that's going to trigger, or at least I hope it will, all those childhood memories that you used to have. It is a 21 plus event, so you're going to get a little bit of an older generation there. So these cartoons are going to be something that generally most people grew up with. So we're looking to have those wonderful memories again of Looney Tunes and Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
That's fabulous.
Yep.
And when is that coming up?
That is coming up actually the following week after Karen's event. That is April 9th at the Pembroke Community Center. And one of the space will be limited. I cannot emphasize this enough because Pembroke Youth Baseball has such a huge following. We won't be able to if everybody in Pembroke Youth Baseball said, I want to go to this event, we wouldn't be able to host them. I'm sorry.
Sure.
So what we will be able to do, it's going to be on a first come, first serve. We'll make your reservations. You'll be able to, there'll be information coming out from Pembroke Youth Baseball and Softball in regards to the event. Basically, it's $25 per bingo card. Okay. So that doesn't mean the one bingo card will get you in the door. Okay. What we're hoping to do is that a family might purchase additional bingo cards. So one person might have, one bingo card gets you in the door. 2 bingo cards makes you a better chance of winning. 3 bingo cards make you even a greater chance of winning the prizes that will be available. And definitely have to give a shout out to Linda and Patrick of the alumni. They are supplying pizza for the event. The alumni does so much for the community of Pembroke. We cannot thank them enough. And if you happen to be looking for a place to grab a quick bite or have a great drink and in a great atmosphere, a little restaurant, swing by the alumni. You won't regret it. And say hello to Patrick and Linda. They're just great people.
I'll have to do that. I stopped in there. I went to lunch once over there with Arthur and quite impressed with the Alumni Sports Cafe, right?
Yep, that's it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And also, too, a shout-out to, I believe, Lance Kennedy in the Pembroke Center for all he does with just a great facility.
Amazing. Lance, I don't understand how he does it. I mean, he must wear throughout the day 15 hats. Sure. Just between scheduling and doing this and doing that, organizing this, organizing that. I mean, he has an unbelievable staff there. Thank you for everybody in Pembroke for supporting the community center, the staff that's there, the job that they do. That's what Pembroke is. That is a nucleus of what Pembroke is all about right there.
That's awesome. And also, too, I think you may have something you want to talk about with the Historical Commission.
Yeah, so, well, yes and no. So when I became the chair of the Pembroke Historical District Historical Commission, like any new leader would go ahead and you need to look and see where you are. What's this, what's that, what's going on with our organization. Well, how I found out about Veterans Park in Pembroke Center, that there was a project that was started back in 2018-19, COVID and a bunch of other various reasons that we don't need to bring back up again because it creates bad memories of everything. So we're just staying positive and moving in a forward direction. My team, and I would like to give a shout out if I could to the members. I could not do this without them. Thank you very much to my vice chair and select board representative, Sean Keegan. I'd like to thank my member, Heather Trombley of the Pembroke Planning Board. I also like to thank Elaine Krupik from the Memorial Committee. And finally, David McPhillips. He is our veterans agent who is now retired, but he is also a representative of the American Legion. This team of individuals are just so dedicated to this project, much like myself. We're all like, what can I do? What can I do? How can I move this forward? So I'm proud to announce that we are finally at a point, and it's been It's been a bunch. But when we go ahead and do this, we are actually at the point now where we're almost ready to present to the community. This is what the project is going to look like. This is what the costs are going to be. And again, we're trying to let me reiterate here, we're trying to fund this privately. So it won't impact the tax dollars of the community. So we want to make that very, very clear to the individuals of the town. It's not going to cost them a dime, but the idea behind it is that we want to be able to have something that Pembroke, our community, will be proud of. It's a shame when I first started talking about this whole project, people didn't even know where Veterans Park was. And that's very unfortunate. I mean, it's right in our downtown. If you drive by, go to the town hall, go to the police station, go to the Dunkin' Donuts or the community center, it's right there. Right. And people just drive by it and don't even see it. What you will see, this new project, it is amazing. And we basically were able to overcome all of the oppositions that were presented back in 2018 and 19. We heard what was done, and we go ahead and put this together, and now we're ready for the presentation. So I would say what the release of this is going to happen once the PowerPoint is completed. We're going to present it to smaller groups first before presenting it out to the community at first. But it will happen very, very quickly. Once the first one goes, then the rest will fall into place.
That's fabulous. We have another quick minute. Do you want to touch upon anything else? Maybe that old colony?
Okay, so the Old Colony Planning Council. So this is more a little bit portion of like political. One of the things that is we can utilize as our town is the Old Colony Planning Council. Now, Old Colony Planning Council, it was kind of funny, and I have the inside word from my wife. She is part of the Old Colony Planning Council, and Pembroke, for whatever reason, didn't really utilize what the Old Colony Planning Council was able to provide. And basically, what it is it's an organization that if you're looking for funding, if you're looking for information or things like that, you contact them. And I go ahead and look at applying for a grant, and it's confusing. I mean, I'll just be completely transparent about that. I believe I'm a transparent person. It's unbelievable. I feel that they make these applications very difficult not to deal with everybody, to be completely honest. But they help you fill out the paperwork. They help you get to where you need to be to gather the information, to present it to you so that either A, you can present it to your people or to the town or to whatever. And we as a town never really took advantage of that. We're starting to, but we didn't do it before. And thank you to Becky Coletta and thank you to my wife, Alicia Siciliano Perry, for being our people for the Old Colony Planning Council and starting to utilize those information for our town. Because again, bottom line, it's about the town, not left, not right, the town.
Absolutely, and it all ties in with the upcoming thing that I believe the digital newsletter that Kathleen Keegan is putting in place and all. So, and I have reached out to Kathleen a couple months ago. We played a little phone tag, and we just never connected. But I do want to have Kathleen on, and maybe have you on in a future podcast as we tie the whole thing together.
I would love that. I actually spoke with Kathleen or communicated with Kathleen earlier this morning in regards to where are we with the Pembroke Citizens Journal. And again, because of the website is going to be so large and it has so much information on it, it's taking a little bit longer to create. And then, of course, you have insurances and things like that. And, the whole paperwork aspect of it, and that's the unfortunate part. But I'm very much looking forward. Very quickly, the Pembroke Citizens Journal will be up and running for our community.
Fabulous, fabulous. Well, we're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsors. We have Paul Crowley on the line, waiting patiently online. So let's hear from our sponsors.
Have you tried Brianville Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Brianville Pizza Kitchen. chicken wings and fingers, and the famous flavors complement their stir-fry dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand into Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857.
Are you looking for fencing and outdoor products? Look no further than Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus. When owner Mike Payne's customers have been asked why they chose Northeastern Fence, many said that there were 3 deciding factors: customer respect, excellent customer service, and quality products. I say that you need to add in 70-plus years of a family-run business with truly experienced sales and installation teams. So if you are in the market for fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, please call Mike Payne and his crew at 781-233-3324 or email mike@northeasternfence.com.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
We are back, and thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD. And thanks again, Christopher, for just a great presentation on all that good stuff.
Thank you.
Well, the call-in number here is 781-837-4900. At this point of the program, running a couple of minutes behind, I do apologize, but we're at the financial wing of Olympic Proportion, sponsored by PS&L Marketing Group and Riverworks Credit Union, NMLS 410564, with Mr. Paul Crowley, Riverworks Credit Union, and Olympian and former Boston Bruins winger Dave Jensen, Senior Loan Officer. So today we have Mr. Paul Crowley on the line.
How you doing, Paul?
I am doing well, my friend. All good in the hood, as they say.
All good in the hood. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to be on. I know you are extremely busy with all sorts of refis, new loans, pre-quals. You are really a busy person. Dave Jensen is as well. So the market seems to be, the interest market seems to be doing okay. People are going for mortgages.
Yeah, you know, excuse me, I'm doing two refis and 2 purchases right now. So, this time last year, I would have 0 for both, and the circumstances that exist today are not much better than they were then, other than maybe there's a little bit of excitement about the possibility of things starting to improve. You know, and what do I mean by that? You know, because a lot of what goes on in the markets is based on confidence, and markets, as they say, abhor what's the word? A vacuum. They abhor a vacuum, which means that they just don't like it when there is information that doesn't make sense to them. If they're confused by things. For example, let's just talk about the recent Fed decision, which was this past week. They decided to leave interest rates unchanged because of the specter of inflation returning. And what's interesting about that, I tend to think that there's always politics involved in this stuff. In fact, there always is politics involved. Don't let anybody kid you. But the fact that inflation is rearing its ugly head is almost exclusively attributable to the geopolitical circumstances in Iran and the price of oil. The price of oil has gone up. You know, everybody knows how much it's gone up. I would say 30%, maybe 35%. And not only does the cost of gas for you and I go up along with all of our listeners and so forth, but the impact that has on transportation for goods and services drives up the prices of everything else too. So it does have a huge impact, and who knows how long it's going to be. I mean, everybody's talking about it being a prolonged war, and then they're talking about how it's only a temporary. So that's where the uncertainty comes in, and as long as there's uncertainty, the markets stand back and they kind of on a wait and see kind of thing. So what we're going to see now, I think, is people continue to wait and see what happens with the war in Iran and then what to do going forward. As far as the new chairman, which is supposed to be for the May meeting, doesn't look like the Fed chairman's going to change. And the reason for that, it's against politics. It's the Fed chairman and the president don't get along, so they're kind of at odds, and that's why he's not being reappointed. At least that's my opinion. And there is the guy that they've got to replace him, who is currently part of the Fed board, is more hawkish. He's more interested in lowering interest rates, whereas the current Fed chairman is more interested in leaving them alone. So what you have is, as long as that gets delayed, the idea of rate cuts continues to be a forward thought as opposed to a current thought, and that can be another issue that gets people frustrated and unable to get a lower interest rate. And I say all that, and I started this conversation with trying to compare the interest rate environment today from a year ago, and why is it that I have so much interest in loans right now versus last year? And I think a lot of things have changed. I pointed out the macroeconomics of it right now, which is really slowing down any chance for a refinancing boom of sorts. But I think people they want to stop buying houses. People are, like I said, I have two. I'm not sure what Dave's spread is, whether he's doing refis or purchases, but I got to believe he's doing some purchases. So there's a lot of people that are saying, I'm going to sell my house, which puts more houses on the market, which has the ability to soften the price of real estate. And that can make it a little bit more affordable so that the interest rate isn't such a negative impact. So, there's a lot of positivity in the market in spite the geopolitical risk that exists.
Right, exactly. People are feeling really, really good about the weather. As Shelley had talked about, I don't know if you heard Shelley's segment about the spring, people getting out and doing more. People are doing more drive-bys, neighborhoods that they may want to live in. They see that for sale sign, and then they're going to give a call to the local finance company.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. In fact, and forget about the looking at real estate and so forth, which is clearly happening. You're right, but we've been trapped in the house for the past couple of months because of the cold and the snow and all that kind of stuff, and people are just anxious to get out. Nobody likes to clean or rake leaves and all that kind of stuff, but I drove down the road yesterday and I must have seen 3 or 4 people out in different locations doing just that. People are just anxious to get out and do whatever, and that has an impact as well. People are, what's that famous line by Curly on the Three Stooges, when the flowers bloom in the spring, tra-la. So here we are. Everybody's excited about it, and here we go.
Slightly. Well, before we start to wind down, I do want you to get your contact information, and we missed that last time. But how do our listeners in Paul Ponders land reach out to you, Mr. Paul Crowley?
Well, if I can help you in any way with mortgage financing, refinancing, or purchases, my cell phone is available, and that number is 781-513-3721. And while I may not pick up your call when you call, I will be sure to get back to you just as quickly as I can.
Absolutely.
And we can talk and see what we can do to help.
Oh, without a doubt. And just to close out, just to pick up the quickly on the tariffs, do you think that the Supreme Court ruling on the tariffs is going to have an impact on the rates, or has it?
Well, so the just let's see, how can I summarize this quickly? So the idea that tariffs impact price of goods and services is real. People understand that businesses always pass it on to the consumer, right? The different thing is, though, if you take away internal taxes on the people and replace it with external taxes on foreign companies, I think the net effect is zero.
There you go. Absolutely. Well, Paul Crowley, I want to thank you again for being on and look forward to hopefully next week and keep up the great work and keep those cards and letters coming, right?
Yes, good weather coming. Thanks, Paul.
Absolutely, my friend. Thank you and be well. Chris Perry, I want to thank you. Christopher Perry, I want to thank you for being in the studio. And I want everyone to stay tuned to WATD and the Memories with Ron Dwyer. It's nice to have Ron back in studio. And Ron, you are the grand poobah of musical memories. Thanks again to Tim, Martha, Shelley, Christopher, David Boyle, Paul Crowley, and our advertisers. But really, thank you, listeners in WATD World and Beyond here. So continue great season number 2 and beyond. Keep Paul pondering. #Indeed.